This episode of the Long Run Podcast is sponsored by Skechers.
Hello,
wow,
look at this.
Look at that, that make your eyes go funny.
Cool, yeah, it's like one of them mad eye tests, isn't it? Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Long Run in association, brought to you by Skechers. This is a place for your news, views, and tips for everyday runners, and we'd like to have a few laughs along the way. So thanks ever so much for joining us here on the live stream, either on YouTube or Facebook. Toby will put up a link on either so that you can sign in, send us your comments, send us your views, send us your questions, anything you like. Drop it in the comments and we'll get round to it. You can email us at longrunshow@gmail.com, and then in about 6 weeks' time, when Chris has opened the inbox, he'll be able to answer your questions as well. There's loads going on. Loads. Big weekends. Manchester Marathon, Paris Marathon, Reading Half, and somewhere where there's going to be a gazillion FORDYs. I'm handing out badges at the end. There's loads of people running. It's the London Landmarks, biggest half marathon in London. So we've got the big man in. Fletcher's with us. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well today. It's not been a good week.
Oh, well, we're looking for... Well, look, we take pleasure in other people's misfortune, mate. So we'll look forward to relaying that a little bit later on. But it's lovely to see you. And if you're watching the live stream, you'll see he's resplendent in his brightly coloured London Landmarks t-shirt. I'm getting a bit of fun now because I've not got a place, but I'm looking forward to the day. It's going to be brilliant. Al's running as well.
Got my haircut done, new glasses. I'm fit and ready to go.
He's looking sharp.
I'm glad he is. He's my pacer.
Got no chance then, Fletch, have you?
Oh, come on.
Fletch, all I would say, last time he paced someone, he fell flat on his face.
Do you know what? The first thing I've packed in my bag is bandages, ice packs, and plasters.
That's probably me, because you're the first port of call.
Yeah.
If he goes for a tumble, then you're there. You're on the scene. You've got to do it.
Exactly. So I was thinking about putting a defib in as well, just in case.
Just in case. What is it? Some Fletch ambulance that we should rename?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'm sure.
Sorry,
a
Al.
blue light from somewhere.
We shouldn't.
And Chris, you've got your record to defend. You've got your 4 seconds at the front of the London Landmarks from last year. Do you reckon you can extend that this year?
I'll try, and I've messaged I tagged Henry and Will, the Wade brothers. Was it yesterday, or the day before, about the rematch that's going to occur off the start line. So let's see if we can. Who can? Let's be honest, it's going to be them. But I'll see. I'll try and do my best. I'll try and do my best to get off that line and hold it for more than 4 seconds. I'll see. But I might just blow up, mightn't I?
Yeah, you might peak too early.
Yeah. Well, you should do.
They're going to pull a hamstring or something.
Right?
Yeah, I'll come out of the gate so quick.
Yeah.
I'll pull up lame after 10 metres or something.
You'll be like a greyhound, mate. You'll be done after about 380.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. But anyway, it'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. We'll come on to it.
Yeah, it's a massive event. It's something really great to look forward to. So we're all geared for that. And you might have seen it. We've got a bit of corporate change as well, Chris. We've got some help from the lovely people at Skechers.
Well, we've gone heavyweight. And actually, you know what? We hit that out straight out of the park. I'm all branded up, Tobes. There was a bit of a thing with getting the boys their kit, but they'll be all branded up next week. Yeah, so mad love to the guys at Skechers. Big shout out to the guys at Skechers. Anybody who follows or has followed the YouTube channel or me over the last couple of years, I've been a big fan of Skechers. I'm not a Skechers athlete. I'm not, paid by Skechers or anything like that. I just genuinely like the footwear and the apparel, the clothing as well. And for me, the reason I like it is because it's relatively cost effective in terms of versus some of the bigger brands out there. You get really good quality for, sometimes a lot cheaper than some of the other stuff. Like like when they came out with their carbon shoes, they were a lot cheaper than a lot of the other carbon plated shoes out there. But also they came out with the Hyperburst midsole, just on talking about running shoes, which is this nitro infused midsole compound, the way they make the shoe up in terms of its lightness and the way it's produced. It really does give an incredible feedback in terms of the ride. You've got some amazing grip on the outside. We did a video with Simon the other day, 350 miles he's got on his Skechers Max Road 5s. And they're just really, really comfortable. Everyone says it about the daily shoes, the walking around shoes and stuff like that. They're very comfortable. But the running shoes are so comfortable. So I've been a massive fan because they're lightweight, they're relatively inexpensive, and they do go for miles. And there's something. I was a big fan of the Razor XS, which for me was a great shoe, mainly the first one because it had speed written on it. But it was just a great shoe for 5-10K daily runs, and they've got all these other shoes that they've done. So yeah, I've been a big fan of them, and to have them on board with the pod is just incredible. So
yeah, we're very pleased. We're grateful for their support.
Yeah, and I know people say about, it's hard to get hold of them and stuff like that, but they've done so much better in terms of getting the stock to the UK. Just talking on the UK front here, I know we've got listeners all around the world in Malaysia and Sri Lanka and Mongolia, and obviously Malta. But over here in the UK, people moan they can't, but you can get them more readily than they ever were before. Pro Direct Running, sportshoes.com, Next, and JD Sports. I think you can all get the Skechers there if your sizes are around. So it's worth hunting them out if you can get them. And I would recommend also, because we did this week, one of our junior runners, who's big shout out Flynn, whether he's listening or not, but he's an OCR champion, qualified for a Spartan World Championship.
Yeah, you've probably seen him. His dad documents his stuff quite widely on the community. You've probably seen him.
Incredible athlete, but he was moaning about his shoes because he was in a pair of Asics, and his dad was saying they're just too firm. He's really struggling. So I said, well, grab him a pair of Skechers, because we see with a lot of our kids that come to running, so like 6, 7, 8, 9, all of them are in Skechers. So I said to him, get him a pair of Skechers, because the way they're put together, and I'm not just saying because they're sponsored, because he's been wearing them. He was wearing them this week. His dad said, no, it's a game changer. He absolutely loves them. For something that a little bit softer, it's brilliant for him. So again, even for your kids, in terms, because it's hard to get them, for running shoes, like Junior Park Run. Let's talk about Junior Park Run. It's worth checking out. Again, they're relatively inexpensive for kids running shoes. So that's another way to look at it. So yeah, just mad love to Skechers this week. And again, big thanks to them for getting on board with the podcast. We really appreciate it, and hopefully it helps spread the word, because they are good running shoes, but also, running kit and just in general, nice stuff.
Chris, do they do a good stability shoe for like the bigger people? Do you know as well? Because
I would recommend, but they can't. It's phasing out. But a Max Road 5, which Si was wearing the other day, it's got a plate in it. It's called the H plate, and with the Hyperburst, which is not overly soft, it's a really nice blend. It's great in terms of stabilization. It's not a stabilizer overpronating shoe or anything like that. They've got stability shoes, but in terms of that, it's that sort of blend I like it for my easy long runs where I do tend to mild pronate. It is a great shoe, but the annoying thing is that they're going to be moving into their new version, the 6, which I think most of their shoes are going to be coming to the UK in Q3, Q4. So you can't really get hold of it. But if you can get a pair of Max Road 5s in your size, I tell you, so I just got some from Running Warehouse in the US. He just shipped them in. I think it cost him, I might be wrong, but about 120 quid. So they really are generally a really good shoe. So, but I think we should stop there in terms of plugging Skechers. And
it's only I just introduced it. I didn't think we were going to get 10 minutes. But.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but essentially, I'm passionate about it. I'm generally, I really do like the stuff. But there we go. So they got their money's worth this week, haven't they?
So yeah, it's been a busy old week. I did the Lee Valley half marathon on Sunday morning and got wiped out by the extra hour that I missed, because starting a race at 8,
jet lag,
effectively at 8 o'clock, and getting there at effectively 7 o'clock in the morning, getting up at 6:15.
Do you think it impacted your performance?
Took me a couple of days to get over it. That it wouldn't have anticipated.
Wilco, do you think it impacted your performance?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just an excuse. I'm not having that.
Mind you, I was 3 seconds slower
that.
than I was at Cambridge 4 weeks before. So
You were
not
slower?
really. Yeah, only 3 seconds though.
Well, did you not go to bed earlier though?
You should have
I did. I went to bed. Yeah, I was in bed about 9 o'clock.
Too much sleep.
Yes. Yeah, too much sleep.
You know, if I want to get ridiculed on me Friday nights, I'll just go down the pub and play darts. You know, I don't have to be here.
You wait till we start talking about Brooks. What?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
No, what you done?
Anyway, so how was your week? How was your weekend, Chris?
I don't know. I can't remember where this week's gone, to be honest with you. I feel like we was just doing the podcast the other week. This week's just been a blur. We've got Easter coming, haven't we? So we've got like Easter camps and all that sort of stuff coming up. And my mind's just like at the moment. There's loads of shoes coming in. I'm getting lucky. You know, I'm not moaning, by the way, but I'm getting stuff left, right, and centre chucked at me that I've got to try and do. And it's great. It's awesome, but it's just like crazy, crazy busy. So I don't really know where this week's gone. I've tried to take a bit of a step back this week because we at Landmarks, we'll come on to it, but we're trying to put a time down, not like mega fast for us, and that's just all relative, right? But we want to see where we are in terms of fitness for our training plan in terms of Edinburgh, right? So we want to go for a certain time. I think Tobe's looking for about what, Tobe, 1:30 or something, isn't it?
Shake your head. People can't hear you when you shake your head.
What?
That's normally best, to be honest.
Yeah. No. So we know, and also so we're looking for a time to see where we're at, and then we know where we are. So I've taken a bit of a back seat this week. I hit 50 miles last week, which was what I was meant to do. This week I've come down again, run a fast half. We've got Southend Park run tomorrow, but we don't know where it's called or where we're going. Alan's told us to park at the casino. That could be for another reason. And then Landmarks on Sunday. And then we go back up again next week, back up to 50 miles. We've got a 20-mile run on the end of next week. So it's all crazy. It's just that, you know what it's like, Wilco. I think a lot of us have been through it, lucky enough. You're in that training plan. It's coming at you thick and fast. And you've got races now to chuck in, like this week, which is a big one. And obviously I've got a lot going on with that. It's not just a simple turn up and run for me this weekend. Again, very privileged, but there's a lot going on that I have to do around that. So it's just like, it's thick and fast. But there we go. I'm not moaning. I love it.
I mean, we got out on Tuesday night. It's nice to get a bit of light. Good to get a bit of light in the satellite. Al, get out in the clubs and that.
Yeah, it did make a huge difference. I joked to my Wickford lot that I kind of see what they look like for the first time. Who are you? But it just lifts your spirits, being able to be out there and get a bit of daylight and finish reasonably light. So yeah, it was good.
So there's plenty of satellites about now, folks. We're meeting up at week. Where it is, I mean, we go to Hartford, Broxbourne on Wednesdays, Watford's Wednesdays. Al's got his in the week as well. Down in Surrey, there's plenty. So get on the website and have a look and see when people are out and about. Or keep in touch with Facebook, because people will be saying when they're out in the evenings. Now the evenings are lighter and you fancy getting out, go out and make some friends. You'll have a great time.
Two down in Kent, Tuesdays and Thursdays in Kent. The Eva and the girls, they go out running.
Yeah.
So
good chat,
have a look.
Good chat. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So it's a great way to sort of like kickstart. Now the clocks have gone forward and the nights are light. I mean, it was so cold yesterday. The tights did have to come out of the cupboard.
No, you didn't get the tights out.
Oh, it was freezing.
It was snowing here today, though.
We had snow. It was snowing when I was out. You must have still been in bed
in April. Well, in March to wear tights. I mean, it's got to be.
I think you've got to be governed by the climate, not by the calendar.
No. Yeah. That's unreasonable behaviour.
You go out in August in a woolly hat.
That's true. And I was wearing one last night.
Christmas sunglasses.
Yeah.
And sunglasses.
Yeah. So pipe down.
Okay, sorry. When are we talking about, Brooks?
I just wanted to say before we went on about before we went to the weekend, my favourite post on the Facebook group this week was Caroline Pollock's, where she's growing her plants out of her trainers. Did you see that?
I did. I thought it was quality, but my personal one was Karen Lumley. I don't know if she's listening or whatever, but her one was taking over from where we had Ben. Big shout out Ben, by the way, who's got the Reading half this week. And did anyone see he smashed the life out of the Malden Park run? He ran it like 15 minutes.
15 and a half minutes.
Yeah, and but anyway, so Karen's taken on what Ben was saying about having a coffee mid-run. She's having a beer mid-run.
Standard
Karen,
for her,
it's a great experiment. When I see you on Sunday, I'll ask you how it's going.
Oh, mate, that was so funny, that post. And who was beats? And someone was saying about taking double naps as well. It's great. I mean, we love it. Double naps are the way forward.
But yeah, I loved them. I love Karen's Caroline's trainers with the plants here. I thought that was a very novel idea.
Yes.
We're always stuck for what to do with your old pairs of trainers, but brightening up your garden with
good use for all
nice
your plants,
I thought were great. I really enjoyed that. So
I tell you what, before we get into it, we've got to make sure that we've not missed anything on the chat. And also, if anybody, we want to hear from you because we're going to be pre-recording a episode. So we want to hear from you in terms of emails. I might actually read some of them before we do that show.
Yeah.
So if you can email something.facebook, email show something.
longrunShow@gmail.com. We'll be recording that to broadcast it on Good Friday, which is 2 weeks today.
So we want to hear from
you. If you could get them for us for next Friday, that'd be great. And we'll go through them and I'll put them to the experts and chip in with nonsensical observations as we go along.
It doesn't even have to be running related. We're happy just to hear from you. So if you're from Mongolia and you want to know what to feed your horse, send an email in. So yeah, we will more than happy help out. So just fire those emails in and we will read them in the email special, which we may rename somehow, but I don't know. We'll figure something clever because we're good like that. Right, Al, have we got anything, talking of things, apart from everyone saying evening all, have we heard anybody?
No, we've really just had people shouting out, welcoming us to welcoming Fletch to the podcast.
Oh, lovely.
So lots of the regulars in. So big shout out to Penny, Laura, JBS, Ben Bailey. I believe you're Chelmsford way. So get down on a Tuesday night. Come and see us at Central Park.
I've just seen a comment. Get the email address printed on a T-shirt. I might do that. But I can't see because I got this printed on my T-shirt. It ain't coming out. So for those listening on the pod, I'm pointing to my Skechers T-shirt. But that is a very good point. We could get the something.com.
You just need a sticker with it so you can read it out and you know what it is when it comes up. longrunShow@gmail.com.
It's on your arm.
Yeah, I'll get a tattoo.
Get a tat. Yeah.
Get another tat. Yeah, that's a good shout. Right. So what we want to know is who is running in the chat, in the comments. We want to know who's running what this weekend. We know we've got Stu out in Paris. We've got about 1 million of you in Manchester. There's about 100 million of you in doing the London landmarks, and we know there's some people doing the Mongolian marathon as well. So make sure that you put that in. I might have made that.
Yeah, if it's not one of the big ones, we're still keen to hear from you. If it's your Lady 10K or something like that, and if it's a bit off the wall, a bit different, then please bung us down and tell us.
Yeah, we want
your hopes are for the week.
Stick it in. And big shout out to Adrian Tron, who's just finished Marathon December as well, and we hope to have him on the show.
Yeah, that's in the pipeline. Hopefully, well, now he's back. Now he's done it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll get him on in the next few weeks. That's the plan anyway.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? We've also got admin lined up to come on in a couple of weeks as well. She's going to be chatting about her marathon training because Toe upset her this week because she said she wasn't running fast enough on Wednesday night. So she's going to come on and sort that out because they've been arguing about that. So that'd be good as well coming on in the next few weeks. But I think we're probably should we focus firstly on I'll tell you what, if you've got any questions about running a marathon this weekend, stick them in. But I think should we pick up on landmarks to start with and go with that?
Well, we've got Fletch here. It'd be rude not to talk to him.
We need to speak to the big man. All his fans have tuned in.
That's right.
We need to.
They've had the support act. Now they want the main event.
Yeah. Starter, now you want mine, yeah?
So, how are you, mate? Now, I spoke to you. We had you on 3 or 4 weeks ago, didn't we? And it's probably the least known secret on the thing that you were looking at a 2 hour
So
2
2
minute
miles.
march.
Yeah, he's going to do 2 miles and then bugger off home. No, 2 hour effort at London Landmarks this week. And then I spoke to you on the phone on Wednesday when we had a chat about you coming. And you're like, oh, mate, I've had a terrible week. Oh, would you like to expand on that for the benefit of our viewers and listeners?
First, I want to thank everybody that's been leading up to this for their support, and that goes for you guys and everybody across the whole of the club for their support. In the encouragement I've received has been absolutely phenomenal, really rich. Big shout outs to Hayden, and I'm going to say a massive shout out to Colin as well. And Alan for their weekly, daily checkups on me, making sure I'm out running, making sure I'm doing this and that. Everything was going fine. Everything's booked. And then I did a brief sort of like easy 10K-ish session, sort of like tried to on Sunday, which was fine. Monday, all set, did my prep, thought, right, this is the week up, got everything planned, what I was going to be doing, working through. Woke up Tuesday morning, absolutely rough as hell. Bunged up, chest, everything. And I spent 2 days in bed. I'm not going to lie, I spent 2 days in bed. Still, I'm probably about 95% at the moment, until yesterday where I decided I've got to try and do something to turn legs over. And that was literally after seeing Chris's post. I think you been out, Chris, and you were just turning your legs over because you were dropping down weak and whatever. So I've got to try and do something. So I went out and did a little ride on the old bike. Felt okay. Knew that obviously the chest is fine. So I've literally went in and I've smashed out the whole of the supermarket for vitamin C. I cleared their shelves to the vitamin C tablets, every sort of like combo you can get. I bought all the oranges.
I thought you was a bit orange, mate.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I had that in my mindset that if I wasn't going to weave vitamin C, then I wasn't well enough. So it's literally, I was pumping so much into me. I bought a clear amount of oranges, tangerines, satsumas, everything I could get. And then just basically cleared through. And then literally tonight has been the first run. So I can tell you this evening, literally, that's why I was a little bit late. I've just done a 30-minute interval session of a certain person's 20-40. So it's 20 seconds. You basically put the treadmill on the fastest it can go, whack it up, and then you just sprint 20 seconds and then 40 seconds rest. And I did 20 minutes session on that with a 5-minute warm up, 5-minute cool down. And I feel good. So
great news.
The plan is, now that's that done, I've seen my PT tomorrow first. He's got them, I don't know if you guys will know, he's got them leg compression things that you put on. So I'm seeing him tomorrow. He's just totally going to chill me out, relax me, massage me. And the plan is I'm going to go for it.
Cool.
And what I will say, and obviously this is to everybody out there, and you guys have spoken about it quite a lot. I know Chris has, and Alan has quite in depth as well, is I'm going for it. But the key thing for me I will be listening to my body big time. So I know what pace I've got to do. I know I've got to run. You know, Alan's there, Caroline's going to be there with me, hopefully, and the group around me. So I know what I've got to do. If I'm struggling and it's really kicking in, then we're going to go for it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But the main thing is I'm going to listen to the body. At the moment, I feel good. I'm not 100%, I'm not going to lie, but I will listen to that body. And I know you guys have been supportive. But yeah, it's a goal I want to achieve. And, you know, I couldn't have asked for a better event to go for. You know, London Landmarks, you know, I know Chris has been involved with it for a long time, myself, sort of like several years now. It's an iconic run. You get to run through the fantastic streets of London. You see some iconic landmarks, you know, and you get an amazing bit of bling at the end of it. And this year's is just exceptional,
cracker, isn't it?
You know,
yeah.
with the great, you know, recently the full revealing of Big Ben. You know, this year's, for those that don't know, the actual medal is Big Ben, and you can get a little eye tab if people want to get that actually rotates inside as the face.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a pretty flash.
Honestly,
see, I
How
hate
much
to
was that,
be
Fletch?
I hate to bring a dampener on this, but I'm not a big fan of medal reveals. I'd rather see it when I've
No.
finished.
I can, yeah, but it's, you see, the thing being with the way they did it this year was pretty iconic because they did a little sneaky reveal beforehand, or not actually revealed it, a build up. So everybody was sort of like going, oh, it's the Tower of London, or it's this and this. Well, for those that have done it, they've already done the wheel, they've already done the Tower of London, or London Bridge. You know, you've got St Paul's, they've done. I think last
And what they do
year,
is, for anybody who's not done the race, is that rather than your conventional medal that you'll just get threaded with a ribbon, they come on a hinge, so you can open them up, and they'll have an iTab in them, so which you can order, and you get your name and your time on and stuff like that. But they still look fine if you don't want to do that. But yeah, they're a bit of a novelty because they fold in half and then open up like a clam, and they have the map inside. They're great. They're really great stuff. Really nice sort of thing. Great thing.
They are. Yeah, and it's a fantastic. And the other thing I'm going to say is you get a cracking T-shirt, and they actually T-shirts. Landmarks are the only ones so far where I've got a finished T-shirt and they actually fit. They actually fit. So. Yeah, I mean it's fantastic, and you're running around lovely streets in London, central London, and what more could you ask for? That when you finish, you get to see all your busy mates at the end that are handing you your medals and whatever and bags. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody, and you know, just fingers crossed, smashing that sub 2 if I can do it.
Fletch, we've talked about, you know, you've had a bit of an enforced rest this week.
Yeah.
What about mental preparation? How's that gone?
So obviously, it's been no secret. I set big half as a sub 2, and to be fair, honestly, that was a big learning curve for me because I went into it too much pressure on myself. I have been a lot more relaxed this year or this time in relation to. I've put in my mind, yes, you know, you're going to achieve. You will achieve it. You're going to go for it. But it's what happens on the day, you know, and, you know, Toby can relate probably to this, you know, I know we take the mickey regarding sort of
27 minutes till the mention of Toby and the Dawning.
Well done, Fletch. My job probably tonight.
I did have a fiver on 27 minutes, but yeah, no. So, it's how it is on the day. It is. Where last time I did put too much pressure on myself. I think Alan was there as well, and he probably even picked up on the vibe that I was having. I was very within myself on the day in the pre-meet up. I was very focused in myself and too mentally, you know, I didn't embrace people. I sort of like put myself in a zone, which I feel was probably wrong. And this time I'm not. I'm going into it a lot more relaxed. I'm going into it a lot more prepared mentally as well in relation to, you know, my mindset's in the basis of if it happens, there's going to be a party. It's going to be massive, you know. If it doesn't, we're still going to have a party and celebrate running a great event with our friends. So I think that's the key for everybody. I think the more pressure, you know, Chris has spoken before about it, I know Alan has as well, is the more pressure you put on yourself, the more it becomes harder. Where this time I will, you know, people that see me beforehand will see a difference in me in relation to the way I am. It'll be the normal Fletch turning up that he's going to run. I'm going to be hopefully a bit more relaxed. I hope. If I'm not, then I'm relying on Alan to kick me.
Yeah, Chris, with sort of obviously no preparation is perfect for any race, is it? Nothing. Everybody has little pitfalls and little problems along the way. Now, obviously, he might see that it might come to pass that this little bit of a rest has been timely and it's really helped. But what can people do in preparation when things haven't got quite right to reassess their targets when they do things like this?
Well, yeah, I mean, a couple of things really. Firstly, we've got to give a shout out to Charlie from Hartford, who we've been helping along with. She's been smashing the life out of her training, and she messaged today and said that she's not very well, and I think she's probably
going to Manchester for Sunday,
and she's doing Manchester. So, you know, just as a shout out to her for doing Manchester. So that's why we say, you know, not just her, but everybody who's doing Manchester. We want to give you some love as well, JBS. who obviously I've been helping out as well along the way. And anybody who's doing Manchester, we want to give you some love. But she's got a similar sort of thing, Fletch. For you, put Charlie to one side, that I don't want to, but just for a minute, you could always look at the positives out of it. You've actually had a sort of enforced taper in a way. And sometimes when you come out of being sick and being ill, actually, I've found that sometimes I perform a bit better. I think because you've rested, you've hydrated the heck out of your stuff, you've vitamin C pumped up and all that kind of. Sometimes you can actually come out of it because you don't care as much as well, because you know, I've been sick, it doesn't matter. It takes you in a total different mindset. So could be one positive out of it. But I'd always try, no matter what the situation is, look for a positive. So, for example, bring Charlie back into it. Whatever happens, if she's not 100% and she feels like she can do the race, then you're still going to get the marathon done, get the bling. You've gone through another training cycle. You've learned a lot from it. And in particular, I mean, she's done incredibly well, like Fletch as well, and looks in amazing shape. I have to say, Fletcher, I think you look really, you can tell how much weight you've lost, bruv. You look really good. And same also for Charlie. She's worked really hard on her fitness, her diet and everything else. I mean, Wilco, you see her, Toby, you've seen her as well.
She's been flying for the last 6 months.
She's been flying. I mean, we had to rein her back the other night on the fish and chip run. I think she got admin.
Yeah, she went for double sausage, and we said, no, you can't be having.
Yeah, so she's got an athlete. So I would always look for the positives, and if it's not your time, it's not your time. Like it's not the end of the world, as you say, Fletch. You've got other races. Like, look what Ben was saying last week about. You know, there's always another race. There's always another run, and all you can do is take what you get given on the day. And you're in the. I think, Fletcher, you're in the best mindset you've been in. If you know, going into this race, 100% best mindset. You're in the best shape. You can see that, and these things do come along. You know, that's always the problem, isn't it, with April, because we come out of winter, don't we? And there's always the bleeding cold, hay fever, and all that crap around.
It's unbelievable. Like, I've kept away from
everyone. Yeah.
Everybody, and I'm going to say this now. I kept away from everybody. I kept my mindset all right bang. I mean, I was guesting up at Northampton for the Irish game on the Saturday, and I even like masked up and I was covered because I didn't want to catch anything. Sunday went to see Mummy. Bang, sister's sat in the lounge with a cold, and that's where I reckon it's come from.
100%.
So.
It's always the ones you love the most, mate.
It is, isn't it? But going back to what Chris has just said there, you know, I listened to last week, and that's where my mindset changed from what Ben was saying as well. There's always that other race, you know. Yes, I've singled out that much because I want to go, and thanks for the comments, guys. You know, and I have worked hard since January. You know, I've lost 1.5 stone. My diet's changed and everything, and I've really focused on this. You know, so there's been a lot of effort going into it. But I think previously, before, if I'd done this. And I had this attitude, or the attitude I had for Big Huff, I'd be going mental now. I'll be going mental, where now I'm a hell of a lot more relaxed.
Yeah, you seem it, bro.
Honestly, I really am chilled and relaxed, and you know, I will still prep for it the same way as I prep for any long run or for the half. You know, my meal tomorrow night will be the same as what it is, you know, and I will preload what I have in the morning, and I'm going to go for it. Going to go for it. But if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then fair enough, it doesn't happen. But there's going to be people around.
Well, no one can say you haven't been prepared and you haven't done everything you possibly could.
Exactly. You know, and I'm just sitting it out and just seeing the comments coming up. You know, so I'm going to take 30 seconds to go. Literally, I'll send you every single person on there that's commented. All your love and support has been fantastic, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's been phenomenal. It really has, and it's you know, it's encouraging to read and just it is emotional to read the comments that people put because they put a lot of time and effort in, and I really do appreciate it, and it's going to be a great event.
So Al, what's your role in this operation?
Well, staying upright would be a good start.
I'm playing DJ. I've been told I've got to let the tracks finish.
Rick,
I'm not allowed to skip halfway through.
Rick has got to be in there.
Not sure he is actually. No, so
otherwise you will be getting tripped up. You won't have to fall like I'll be tripping you up.
So Fletch asked us a couple of weeks ago to help out pacing. So there's a couple of us, Carolyn and I, are going to be alongside him, left and right hand side, so hoping to help him not just with the pacing but with the mental. You know, it is a great race, but there are some tricky little bits. I find that twists and turns around
Cobble streets out. You better be careful.
Yeah, it's very it's very twisty and turny.
At that part, but then once you turn at Tower Hill, you know you can see Big Ben, and there's your medal. So that's going to be a massive inspiration. So looking forward to it.
They've been really encouraging, though. Really, you know, Carolyn's been messaging me. You know, there was even, I think it was a couple of Sundays ago, there was even a phone call, and I had to put up with somebody sat there in like wearing hardly anything. It was not a pretty sight after you just run 16, 17k. Do you know what I mean? With a cup of tea.
Family show, mate.
It was
family show. Actually, we've got to give, But no, I was going to give two shout out, Fletch, because you just reminded me of two things. One is our massive volunteer group on Sunday, and I just want to give massive love to people who organise that. You know who you are, but also those who do take part. It's one of the amazing things about the community and club that I think some people underestimate how powerful that is in terms of volunteering at the races and events. So just for me, a massive thank you.
Yeah, it'll be the first time that I'll be volunteering as part of the big 40 group, and it's a measure of what the group does in that as soon as the ballot came through and I didn't get a place, I just got straight on the pool and said, "What are we doing? I'm coming." Yeah,
and that says it all about, you know, about what the community, what the club is all about. And I just say not only the love towards Fletch and everybody else who's running, you know, not just landmarks but around the world in terms of support. It's been incredible. But also the volunteers and everything else that goes into it. And the other shout out I want to give is to Tommy's, because I've seen Fletcher's shirt behind, where London Landmarks is run by the charity Tommy's. If you don't know who that is, if you are listening to this on a podcast, I'd recommend you check out, please, their website. I don't know exactly. I think it's probably Tommy's.org or something like that. But it's a fantastic charity here in the UK, which do tremendous work. It's some really heart-wrenching stories, and I don't want to go into that today, but I just think the money it raises, the event, and the other charities that take part, because there's other charities that also can get involved in it. So not only the event will make money and raising, you know, much needed funds for Tommy's, but also for other charities out there. So big shout out to everybody who's running with a charity this weekend. So mad love. I know I wanted to raise that up this week as well. Right, so Al, I'm seeing a lot of comments, a lot of questions coming in. Where do we start?
Yeah, well, shall we start with Michael? Michael Sandiford, we'll give him a shout out. He's running Taunton Marathon this weekend.
I bet that's nice.
Good luck with that, Michael.
That's a great one.
It's laps, so 2 laps. Not looking forward to that second lap. What's the advice mentally to cope when all those half marathoners run off and go and get their medal, and you've still got a little way to go?
I would actually, in a way, that's if it's 2 laps, that's better than some of the others, like that Essex Marathon thing or whatever it is. It's about 152 laps of some airfield. That would just blow my mind up. But I think if it's 2 laps, actually, in a way, it works well, because you can pace the first half, try and pace it well, get to halfway, go, right, where am I at in terms of my race? Where am I at in terms of my effort? How do I feel? How am I fueling? All that kind of stuff. And then maybe you look to negative split the second half. Maybe you back off a little bit. You can play with the strategy a little bit better, because it's a clear 2 laps. In a way, that's not the end of the world. I think there could be a lot worse. #Essex Marathon. But yeah, I would try and break it literally down into 2 races, 13 miles and 13 miles. Pace the first as whatever you're going for. If you're going for anything, if you're doing it for fun, you'd probably be better off at another marathon. No, if you're doing it for fun, then just run like carefree in the first half and then see what the second half's about. But actually, I think in a way it's kind of nice looking, at 2 different halves. Tobe, would you agree?
Yeah, I think I quite like a 2 lap, because you know you only got to do it the lap once more, and you know what's coming. So you can, and especially if there's hills and stuff like that in it. I don't know if you know where they are and how.
Why does he bring up hills? He's obsessed with hills.
They're brilliant.
They're not brilliant.
They are.
Yeah. I like hill. I ain't bothered. Yeah, that half I did at Waltham Abbey, that was a 2 lapper on you know, there was 10K and then half marathon, and yeah, I think it's okay that you've got like Tobe says, you know what's coming up.
I like it. I also like 2-lap park run as well, because you again you can attack it. You always have that anxiety right before any race or event, and I don't know. But you know, I suffer with anxiety and stuff like that. That's why, you know, since I started everything that we do. But on the race line, on the start line, once you've got that first half done, right, it doesn't matter if it's 2.5K, 5K, you know, 22K, doesn't matter. But once you've got that first half of the race done, I always find I settle into myself, and then I know what's coming at me. So with a 2-lap race, actually, you can then really probably lean on it a bit, and have that comfort of you've been around that track once, and you know where to push, not to push, and it's not that alien and all the nerves.
And it's not too repetitive.
Yeah, exactly.
You still get surprised. You're like, oh, it's this bit. I quite like this.
Yeah,
bit.
Exactly. Oh, I've only got this bit to do. You know, it's that kind of mentality, isn't it? So,
and also on the first lap, if they've got markers, that spurs you on as well. Because if you go there, you think, cool, when I get round here next time, I'll only have 2 miles to go.
Yeah, it's all those
it works in reverse as well.
Yeah, that is true. I think what's the one we had the big meet up in Southend? Around the park area, but we had the pub by the end of it. There's no
park run. The park run.
Yeah, the park run over at Southend.
That's
by the
2
pub.
laps, isn't it?
That's a couple of laps, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
That has been my favourite park run, because of that soul of what you guys have just said, in the fact that you're running around. If you're running around that first lap, but when you come, you've got to go again. You know what's coming. And you know where the marshals are, and they're all joyous and friendly and whatever. But I love that park run, because there's a couple of wheels, but you know, like Toby was saying, you know what's coming and you're prepared for it. So it's sometimes it can be nice to do a couple of laps. And I mean, it looks good, because I've been looking up weighing that if Sunday doesn't happen, potential for another one. And I've had a look at the Worthing one, the Worthing half down on the seafront. And again, it's 2 laps. You go out and come back, and then you go back out again and come back.
When is that, Fletch?
It's towards the end of April sometime. I'm not sure when. It's quite reasonably priced, I think, 30 something. It's called like a Worthing Fest or something. There's a run something. So there's options of 5, 10 or whatever. But they do a half, and it's dead flat as well, apparently. So, and it's like a 2-lap thing, and that looks pretty good. One to on my eye up as well.
They used to do there was a half down your neck of the woods, Fletch, that was sort of like Whitstable, Herne Bay, that one. Have you done that? That's
Whitstable one they do, is Herne Bay. It's nice. It incorporates a bit of the seafront, which is nice, and around there. But yeah, it's that's where I do a lot of my long runs down there, because again, it's flat. I go along the seafront, and you can run out from you start at sort of Whitstable way, head back to Whitstable. Sorry, start at Hampton Pier, run to Whitstable and back, and there's your 10K, and then you head out to Herne Bay and recovering out that way, which is part of the old Ragnar that Chris probably know and whatever, part of that route for say he would know, he didn't, because he was in the easy van. This was sort of like in the first stage where it was the hard bit. But yeah, you head out along the seafront along there, and honestly, it's lovely, and especially now. Like again, you guys have touched on the early mornings and the lighter evenings as well. You just run out and have a lovely evening and run out. It's beautiful.
Yeah, Worthing's the 24th of April.
There you go.
24th. Okay. All right, Al, what else have we got?
On to David. David's been watching on YouTube and signed up for Manchester Marathon. So good luck with that one, David. He's asking a question about how to approach it. Sub 4, so awesome target. Should he go average pace, or should he mix it up? And if you're watching on the YouTube, if you're watching on the channel, he's set out a little mix of different paces for his marathon, spread over, in effect, 3 different kind of runs. So it looks like he's going 7 easy, 7 marathon pace, and he's kind of doing a bit of a
right. Well, it's good that he's broken it down. I'm just looking at the comment. Sorry, I will come back to that slightly further down. It says Toby looking half decent and a lot healthier. What's changed? Well, if you ask admin, if you email Sabrina at FORDYruns.com, I've just made that email address up. But Toby has been noticed that he's been doing runs not on his own. I'm not going to say any more than that, because I know a lot of people ain't interested. But right, so Where was it? I personally, sub 4, I would look to even split the first half, get to 13 miles like we just said, and see how you feel. Look dead aim in terms of even split, and then I would try and pick it up a negative split, small. I call it the back 9, Fletch knows golf terminology, but the back 9 basically, or back 13, and then see how you get on. But you want to try and even split it as best you can on the front 13, sorry, and then get halfway and then have a look where you are.
Would this approach would you benefit from this approach if you did it on your long runs, sort of like during? If it seems a big grandiose plan to come up with 48 hours before the race, but if you were doing it over the preceding 16 weeks and mixing it up and comfortable like that, it might be the way to go forward. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yeah, sure. You should be mixing up your pace in your long runs anyway. I mean, we've just gone through a batch ourselves of mixing up, putting pace into our long runs. We started off easy. We did, what was it, 18 miles, 16 miles. I can't remember what it was. And I remember 14, we finished in Costa.
14 easy, 4 hard.
Yeah, 4 and a bit hard, I think it was, ended up being. So we're just putting, mixing it up. So yeah, 100% mix your paces up so you get a feeling of it all.
I think this also, it leads into something that I was talking to a few people about at the weekend, because of the level they were at in their marathon plans. Even late marathon runners like us, we're sort of like halfway through now. A lot of people are starting to get a bit bored on their long runs and going out on their own and doing 17, 18 miles.
To listen to, apparently. Very good. It's number 3 in the UK, number 1 in Malaysia, and huge in Malta.
Massive.
I don't know what's called.
If you forgot your headphones, no, I mean, seriously though, mixing it up on your long runs, that's one way to sort of like alleviate the boredom a bit. And is there any other sort of tips?
Yeah, just always try and maybe run out to somewhere and then run back. It's always, like we did it a couple of times. We've run to park run, because then you're focused on getting a park run before it starts. Like the other day, Si and I nearly got caught out. We ended up running like 7-minute miles towards the end, because we basically was going too slow and chatting to start with, and then we had to run like no to get there, and we did it, and then you're thinking, right, now I've got to get back, so out and backs are good. Try and break it down into sort of things you recognize. I'm going to run to Costa, then I'm going to run to the Morrisons, then I'm going to run to and then I'm going to run to that, and I'll turn around, then I'll run back to and pick those places out along your way. That's another way of breaking it up.
I'm doing a 17 miler on Monday, so I'm going to do sort of 3K easy, 1K pace, and just mix it up, chop it up into bits like that. Just to
you can. What I would say with that is you've got to remember, at the stage in which you are, Wilco, you've got to remember that you're still building. Yeah. You're putting speed in, which is great, but the speed work should really come in more probably into the week. I
usually use our sessions on a Tuesday. That's an ideal time to do a bit of speed.
I'm just saying, in your long run, just put elements at this moment. Put elements of goal pace in. Don't overdo it, because you don't want to wreck yourself. You don't want to screw yourself. You're still in that building program. I know you got your weeks wrong a couple of months ago, but we've still got something like 8 weeks to go or 7 weeks to go. So
I think this is week 8. Yeah. All right. So maybe something to put on the back burner and do in a few weeks then.
No, chuck elements in now. It doesn't matter if you're half marathon training or marathon training. Put elements in, but you've got to be kind of strategic where you do it. Unless you're at a level where you can put them in quite early. I'm not saying you're not, Wilco, but I'm just saying you don't want to wreck yourself. You want to make sure that the loads you are putting through, the pace you are putting through, is not fatiguing you to a degree where when you go out the next day or the day after, that your body's still in that healing process from the effort that you've put in over the weekend. So you've just got to be really careful. How is that probably a fair thing to say? Just back me up, if not.
Yeah.
Oh, he's there.
No, I was actually going to bring it back to the question which David asked about, the how to pace it. And for me, I'd take a slightly different approach. And I learned this from one of my German buddies who works in kilometres. So he tackles it as 3 lots of 14. So if you don't like even numbers and you prefer working on odd, you don't have that mid-race, I'm at halfway, shit, I've got to go same again. And lots of people find that really difficult in any race.
Good
whether
point.
It's a 10K, a half marathon, a marathon, you think, I'm feeling it, and I've got to do this all over again. So splitting the race into 3 lots of 14 kilometres overcomes that. I also
that's interesting.
find that you're going to run, depending on the corrals and how big the race is, the first few kilometres, you're finding you're running probably too fast because the adrenaline. You might not be settled in with runners that are running your pace because the corrals are not perhaps even. And that first bit of the race can be quite difficult to find that pace in. So you kind of accept that, you recognise that, get that out of the way, then hit your pace, and then you negative split that. So it's very similar to what Chris has said, but it kind of just breaks it up into 3 sections rather than 2.
I mean, for somebody who would like to do sort of around 4.5 hours for his second marathon in May, to have 3 lots of 14K, to do 14K in an hour and a half 3 times, that maths works out really well. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
that is a good shout.
Yeah, I've come to it after I've done. So I've not done London yet. I've done Frankfurt using that, and I did. I ran with Chris. I've not tried it on an English race, so I'll be trying it in Brighton in a week's time. So that was my little contribution to David. So coming back to the question, sorry guys, interesting question.
It's been like the longest question we've ever had on the show. We needed to do a special on this.
Just on that one question.
Yeah.
I've lost it now. You've thrown me. But
I'm going to answer
a really interesting question about should your first mile be your fastest or slowest?
Say that out, sorry.
Should your first mile of any race be your fastest or your slowest?
And what did you say?
I haven't answered it, Chris. I'm putting it out there for you, mate.
Oh, that's for me. Yeah. Toe. I'm going to ask Toe first because I know what he'll say.
It normally ends up being your fastest. Whether that should be your fastest is another question.
It's only because it gets you fastest you think, oh, God, I'm going too quick.
No, to be fair to Toe, he's usually trying to get away from me.
What are you going for tomorrow, your first mile?
Me, tomorrow or Sunday?
Sunday,
first mile. I'm running a 3-minute mile, try and get ahead of the Wade brothers. First mile needs to be absolutely on the money in terms of pace. Whatever your goal is, it needs, my view, absolutely needs to be on the money. So if you're running sub 4, it needs to be 9:09. Or if, whatever else, but let's say sub 4 because the question was about sub 4. It needs to be 9:09 dead aim. It should be no faster or slower because then you settle in straight off the bat at your pace, and that is the key to running at whatever you've got. Always snail the first. I prefer overtaking. Right, serious question from JBS. I've got to keep getting shout out JBS because he's doing thing marathon with heart strap, HR strap, or without. I would say with, but I would throw caution to that because I wore it at London and I had a scar here for about 3 months afterwards where I don't know, it just melted into my skin or whatever. But me and my man boobs, I got a massive cut here from my thing. So it's your shout, but I would run with because again, it's a great, especially for you, JBS, someone who runs the heart rate. You've got to wear it because your wrist is not going to be accurate.
Oh, but I'm doing Sunday with me heart rate because I've just been running with it. So
you've got he's been training with it, Fletch. So but I understand. It's I can understand sometimes you want to run a bit free. At the end of the day, what difference is it going to make? But So what else have we got?
Teddy Jordan, Prime X or Metaspeed Sky for a half marathon?
Metaspeed Sky I'm not running the Prime X because they're too high in terms of the stack for me, so I can't comment. Metaspeed Sky for me is more of a marathon shoe. I would wear out of neither. Sorry, but if you got because I'm not running the Prime X, and Metaspeed Sky is a good shoe, but it's a more marathon shoe for me. I'd want to wear something a bit quicker, a bit faster, a bit sexier. So yeah, no help. Sorry. What else, Al?
And an anonymous Facebook user wants to know, how do you edit from your GoPro? Technical question. I'm sure there must be a video somewhere.
My GoPro?
Yeah.
How do you edit the stick out? I think it's more.
Oh, if it's not got the stick, I'm not using the GoPro. That's the tip. I'm using a different camera. No, seriously, that's the serious question. We've got quite a few cameras, lucky enough, and if it's the GoPros, we tend not to use the GoPro a lot in races. We use the stuff from we've got Insta360 cameras for most of the races that we use. The GoPros we tend to use more on the vlogs and things like that. I hope that helps. Probably not. Sorry, Al. What was the what else?
That's it,
There's
mate.
so many.
They're all our questions for this evening.
There was, I tell you, I saw a shout out earlier on. Where was it?
I wanted to shout out to
Janet Knight. Janet, big shout out. Who's running London Landmarks for Calm, which is an incredible. Again, we talk about charities, and again, I don't want to, go down a dark path, but I think it's really important that, the work that Calm do is highlighted, especially again for us boys. We don't talk about these sort of things. I'm a big advocate of talking about these things. I see a lot of hateful stuff on social media. I even see it, unfortunately, some people out there really go after me and go after other people and try and cause problems for no apparent reason. And they don't realize the effect it has on people and the anxiety that it causes people. Even myself, I have down days where I get harassed and horrible comments and people go after me, and it's not nice at all. And that people don't realize the impact it has. So it's really important that all you boys and you girls, but all you boys, you do talk about it. You do talk about your mental health, and the work that Calm do in particular is incredible. So make sure, boys, if you're struggling, that you're talking about it, please. It's really, really important. Again, massive shout out to Janet Knight, who is running in memory of her brother, Roy. So mad love to you. Hopefully I'll see you on Saturday. You'll see me probably going past, absolutely blowing out of my rear end after starting the first 10 meters at breakneck speed. I think I've got a feeling I'm going to be hobbling around the 13 miles bit. I'll probably do the 0.1 really quick, and then that'll be done.
I'm actually toyed about stealing your thunder, because somehow I've ended up in lightning, which is the start. So
wow,
we could have a double F race on.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it, Fletch? You put all this prep in to run in sub 2. You've had all your vitamin C, all your mental training, all your personal training. Al's going to pace you, and then you see him on the front line, try and run out of him and pull your hamstring after 50 yards.
But what a party we could have.
Don't do it
off the start line.
Yeah, oh god, it's pretty, you know what? It's such a, I love it. It's such a good feeling having all these events and stuff back, seeing everybody back and excited about it. It doesn't matter if, where you run. Even I was chatting to a lady earlier who's doing London. She's got a charity place for a great charity. And she's going to do her first park run this weekend. She's super excited about going down and doing her first park run. And it's just such an amazing thing. Getting people together, having fun, not taking it too seriously, and just having a laugh and being,
Landmarks was a big one last year, because that was really the first big one back, wasn't it?
What are you? Who's asking? I don't know who that is. What wave are you in for London Landmarks, Chris? It's an anonymous user. I just want to make sure that's nobody that is trying to get after me for money or something. Am I going
to have to be security again?
Yeah, it could be Fletch. I might need some security. I want to know who that is, because it could be. It's Michael Wilkes, Speedy Wilkes. Wilkesy, am I seeing you on Saturday? Because we're going. If we get there, if we manage to work out where it is,
we're going to
Chalkwell. Was it Westcliff or Chalkwell?
Well, it's kind of Westcliff in Chalkwell.
It's Chalkwell. I don't know what wave I'm in, but I'm doing some filming some stuff, so I won't be in a way. I'll be getting out of the way of the elites, basically. That's the way.
So you're all in lightning. You're in lightning, are you, Al, Fletch?
Yeah.
Oh, well, see you at you'll be one of the first ones then that I'm there to congratulate and give a carrier bag full of.
As long as Al stays upright, I'm a bit worried. I might drop back and I might just prop him up a bit. I'm a bit worried, Fletch.
I'm now getting concerned.
Oh, this is it. See, 6:45, he was in his peaceful place. He was wired, and now we've wired him up.
I'd had a good interval session tonight. I was on it, and now I'm actually worried about carrying big man round with me.
Yeah, I know.
All the carnage.
I know.
Well, folks, that's 59 minutes.
Have we done 59? I'm not being funny, but I even went to the thing of printing this off 2 minutes before the show went live. That's an email I'm holding up my hands. That's how well prepared we were tonight. So we'll have to come out on the email special, won't we?
Yeah.
We'll have to cut. FORDY lad, speed 2 or Hyperion tempo for long workouts. Personally, I would go for the pro. I would use the pro for the long workouts. That's my preference. And look out for the Hyperion tempo 2 that's about to drop. Which would be very boring.
Up, then?
What? Who is it?
Anything else?
I don't know. Is there any last minute shouts or questions or anything we need to get done?
No, I think we've covered most of the shout outs. So we've seen Penny, we've seen JBS. One of my runners, Kieran's running Manchester. I know he's looking for a 4:30.
Good luck, folks.
Good luck, Kieran. We've had Janet, we've had Darren Burrows running London Landmarks, and we've got Hogan trying to smash 2:30 at Brighton. So good luck with that as well in a couple of weeks.
I'll tell you what,
I will see
Middle
you there.
Monday's going to be mental this week, isn't it?
Middle Monday's going to be. So I'll just then before we wrap it up, a couple of things from my side, if that's okay, Wilco. Firstly, again, big shout out to all the volunteers this weekend. Thanks JBS for the super sticker, super chat. Big shout out to all the volunteers. Mad love to all the charity runners this weekend. I really do love you all, and I'm massively behind all the money that you're raising. Doesn't matter what charity you're running for. Big shout out to Skechers for sponsoring the podcast this week. Again, get over to skechers.co.uk if you're here in the UK and check out their running shoes. We spoke a little bit about that. But just good luck to everybody who's, whatever you're doing this weekend, doesn't have to be a big race or event. You know, maybe you're just going out and you're doing your first, 10-minute run or whatever you're doing. Just good luck. I want to give a massive, massive shout out to Fletch for coming back on the show, for working your socks off, brother, and for being a beacon of light. And I'm not taking a mickey for once. For generally, inspiring people and getting out there, brother, and really working your butt off to get into shape and having a go at this. And whatever happens. It is what it is. So good luck to you. Good luck to JBS. Good luck to Charlie. Everybody who's up and down the country. And if everybody could just feel a little bit sorry for Toby, because he's got to pick me up at 6:30 on Sunday morning. Can you imagine the mood I'm going to be in?
If I remember.
If he remembers.
Can I just say, guys, it's been a pleasure again. Big, massive love to you four guys. Our specials and Caroline for all your support on that. And again, I repeat it again, the love from everybody over me and this journey since January has been fantastic. I really, really do appreciate it. And I'm going to go there and do my best. What happens will happens. I'm just going to cut it there because I'm just seeing more comments coming through. Deal with it, Wilco. Thank you all.
Thanks
I love you all
very much, everybody, for joining us again. Check out on Facebook. I mean, particularly if you're going to London Landmarks, there's details of the meetup. I think it's 8:15 in Trafalgar Square. You'll see it. There'll be loads of people in pink. You can't miss it, but then there'll be loads of people in pink anyway because Tommies are all in pink, so that's something to watch out for. So don't go and tag in somebody else's photo thinking you're somebody, you're with us, because you might not be. But there'll be plenty of people out, and we're all meeting up afterwards as well. The details are on Facebook. Thanks ever so much for joining us again. We're here every Friday, 7:00 on YouTube, on Facebook, but you can download us on your podcast provider of choice. So we're on Spotify and Amazon. And
number 3.
Yeah, number 3 with Amazon and Apple. And a big thank you as well to Skechers again for their support. We will see you again next week where we'll be talking about all these wonderful races around. And it's Brighton. God, coming thick and fast, isn't it? There's no stopping it. There's loads of races going on. So we will all talk about that next week. Wish you great luck, whatever race you're doing, whatever running you're doing, whatever else you're doing this weekend. Have a wonderful time. Stay warm. Get your tights out of the cupboard if you have it. Don't be intimidated by people saying that you only got to wear shorts.
Don't wear tights.
And enjoy yourself. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Roll titles, Toad.